So you have a continuing resolution. You keep fighting on the Planned Parenthood issue. How far do you go? Do you shut down the government and risk, as you said, Lisa, the election? You can hand the election to the Democrats, perhaps, if Republicans shut down the government.
Yeah, I have to tell you, as someone who spends a lot of time covering the Democrats and particularly covering Hillary Clinton, they love this issue. I mean, part of whether Hillary Clinton, if she becomes the nominee, whether she wins in the general election will depend in part on how much she's able to mobilize female voters, in particular married female voters who are a demographic that typically go Republican. Her campaign believes that they will be mobilized by these threats to reproductive rights and women's health. So she talks about this almost every day. I mean, they see this as a big mobilizing issue for Democrats. But, you know, I think we've all seen this movie before. This feels very familiar, this threat of a shutdown. It feels like we're doing this almost every year because we are, in fact, doing this almost every year. And I think you're seeing that reflected in the voters. There's a lot of frustration, and that's in part what's contributing to the rise of these, self-considered outsider candidates like Donald Trump, like Bernie Sanders, like Carly Fiorina. Even if those people are not even really all that much outsiders, Carly Fiorina lives in Northern Virginia. Bernie Sanders has been in Congress an awfully long time. You know, that feeling of that voters are looking for something authentic, something that isn't part of the political system, is fueled in part by these constant crises.
I mean, Ed could probably speak to this better, but I think what Boehner did in the short term probably means that we're all but guaranteed not to have a shutdown next Friday. But in the longer term, or at least when that next continuing resolution expires, whenever that will be, if it's December or if it's a month from now or whatever, whoever that new leader is, how are they able to, get these guys in line when Boehner wasn't able to?